Hi dear friends, Shashank Gupta at iQuanta, working towards the betterment of verbal ability, right? So today what we have is reading comprehension. Now reading comprehension is a very important topic when we talk in terms of any kind of entrance that is coming in your way, right? So it is very important that we understand that reading comprehension has to be a friend, a forte, right? But what really happens is there are big problems, right? When you go across and you start doing a reading comprehension, of course, we don't read much, fine. Everyone is in class 11th and 12th, and everyone is like, stuck up with your academics and other stuff. So that's why what is happening is you don't give time for your reading, right? So keeping that in mind, we need to come across and start working on it, prepare a base, a proper base for ourselves so that we can do well, right? So let's start with this. For today, what we are going to do is we are going to work upon our two things. One is the vocabulary and the fact based, okay? For the starting thing, I'll just tell you. So when we say reading comprehension at this point, what we are going to learn, we are going to take bit by bit, okay? And we are going to understand everything from there, right? And we are going to understand how it is going about that when we talk in terms of basic questions, something like vocabulary. What can you expect in vocabulary? You can get synonyms, you can get antonyms. Fine. These kind of questions you would get in your paper. So this is quite easy if you look at it, right? Why? Because just let's see. There's a word pernicious. Okay. The word is pernicious and they want to know that what does it mean. Fine. If I tell you what is pernicious, will it be easy for you to catch hold of the meaning? No, it is not, right? But then again, if I come across and I say something like the global warming has become an issue which can be pernicious to our future, right? Keeping that in mind, fine. What would happen? Now, when I gave you pernicious as just a word, right? And now that you have pernicious in a sentence, of course, it is not a rocket science. You can easily understand that pernicious is something you can easily understand what is the meaning. Why? Because of the whole sentence that is there, right? So out here you can easily make out that pernicious is something which is negative, first thing, yeah. Why? Because it is talking about some global warming thing which is becoming an issue which can be pernicious to our future. So what kind of effect would global warming have on our future? Will it be positive or negative? Definitely it is going to be negative. So pernicious is a negative word. So in my option, all the positive words, they can go away. I can eliminate them and I can come towards a negative answer as per the sentence given to us. Generally, what does a pernicious thing stand for? It is harmful. So as you can see, doing vocabulary in an RC set is much easier than doing it when you have it as a direct question, right? So keeping that in mind, we'll move forward and let's see what do we have. Of course, the other type of question that we are going to do today is about facts, right? So what really happens in facts is, when we are talking in terms of some kind of question, like if a question comes across, who was the high priest of some temple, right? Maybe something like that, right? This might be a question. Then there can be a question like, which of the options have or have not been mentioned. Of course, in this case, it can have more than one option as well, right? Because it is saying have or have not, which means we are looking out for more than one options, okay? So this might have multiple answers, right? And if in the same case, if it would have been which of the options has or has not been mentioned in the passage, of course, you know that we are going to talk in terms of something which is mentioned out there, okay? Which of the options is or true, false, and so on, right? It can also be like, which of the following has been mentioned by the author, which of the following the author is supportive of. So all these things, where, how do I know it? Do I know it already? No, of course not. Fine. These are all based on facts. And when I talk in terms of facts, where do you find that fact? You find it in the passage. So these are very direct questions, informative questions. You can simply go across and do these questions for yourself, right? So today what we are going to do is we are going to start working on these kind of questions, fine, and then we'll gradually grow, right? Because it's not a one-day run, okay? We are actually out here to work upon our skills, grow gradually, and then, create a situation where nothing less than 100% accuracy. Okay, fine. Let's move on. Last thing. Of course, the passages out there are going to be big, right? But because I'm starting with your basic idea, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with smaller deals, right? So I'll give you smaller passages, rather I'll give you one paragraph each, maybe a line or something, so that you get attuned to it first, right? If you don't get attuned to it, what really happens is, like, uh, we don't know how to climb, we don't know how to go across and climb a mountain, and then we go across and try to climb the Everest, which is not easy, right? Of course. So for that, you have to have good practice, and your basics have to be clear. Everything has to be ready, right? So that is why, for with a view of a holistic approach, with a view of creating strong base, what I'm going to do is we are going to start with smaller paragraphs, and then as we continue with time, I'm going to provide you with more like lengthier as well as more difficult passages, right? So stay tuned with me and carry on. So the first passage or paragraph that we have today is, in the heart of a small town stood an old library. It wasn't large, but it was filled with stories that sparkled imagination. Okay. Now they have already, sparked imagination. So out here, as you can see, they have already underlined the word. Okay. Which means the question, there would be a question which would be talking about a synonym or an antonym for this word, right? Okay. With stories that sparked imagination. Children would visit after school, flipping through books with wonder. So there were like people, children going out there after the school, flipping through books, easy to understand, with wonder. So they were always like curious to understand what is happening, what is what. Fine. The librarian, a kind woman with silver hair, always greeted everyone with a warm smile. She believed every book held a world waiting to be explored, right? Not a difficult read at all. It's a narrative. It's giving you simple facts, something you love to do, right? Okay, fine. So keeping that in mind, let's go. They are asking for synonym of the word sparked as used in the passage. So first word is diminished. Look at it. What was it? It wasn't large, but it was filled with stories that sparked imagination. Children would visit after school, flipping through books with wonder. The librarian. So everything is positive about it, right? It is giving me a positive vibe. So if it is giving me a positive vibe, can it be diminished? Of course not, because the tone of the passage is positive. Diminished is a negative word, goes away. Ended, buried. Look at them. They are also negative, right? Ended imagination. So imagination got ended. Of course, it is not going to work, right? Buried imagination, which means like it is down under. Fine. So almost working as diminished. So that's why the only answer which is possible out here is ignited, right? So what is ignited? Ignited is something of a spark, right? And it's a fire, right? So it is firing up the imagination. So that's why ignited is the right word. Understood? Let's move on to the next question. So the same paragraph, antonym of kind as used to describe the librarian. So this time they have underlined kind out here. Look at the word, see how it works for you. Fine? Okay. So when we have kind, and I'm going to talk, now this is a very serious thing. Okay, what is what? Many a time what happens in a question of antonym, this happens especially in cases of antonym questions, right? So you have antonym, what does it mean antonym? It means find the opposite of the meaning, right? But many a time out of curiosity, out of overconfidence or something like that, you know what happens? You would actually find the answer which is similar to kind. Okay, because the examiners are actually going to trick you, right? What they are going to do is they are going to put in a synonym as well, and you might feel, oh, kind means this thing, and then you simply take that. Now that is where you have to refrain, that is where you have to control yourself, right? You need to see what is to be done. So as per the answer kind, we have to work upon, I need to talk about antonym. Kind is a positive word, so first thing, any positive word if I find out here has to go away, because that cannot be my answer. So polite is a positive word, generous is a positive word, gentle is a positive word, and I know that B, C, D goes away. The answer is cruel. As easy as that. So as I said, we are working step by step, right? We are going to play tip top. Remember? Yeah, we used to do tip top during when we were children, right? Okay, so this is the way we are going to go about, slowly and steadily, but then it would grow. It would grow and you have to grow with it. Okay, fine. Let's move on to the next one. In the heart, again the same thing. Which of the following is mentioned in the passage? As I said, that was something we have to work upon. There would be certain facts given across. You need to work upon that as well, right? Let's see. What is it? Which of the following is mentioned in the passage? The library was recently built. Is it written? Small town stood an old library. If it was an old library, how can it be recently built? Which means for this, A goes away. Children visited the library. Children would visit after school. Yes, we can take that. But then again, guys, we need to work upon this kind of a thought process. Whenever you have this thing, I would always suggest you need to work upon your accuracy first, and to work upon your accuracy, what you have to do is you need to remove the other things. Unless you remove everything, unless you eliminate all the rest, you don't know whether you are accurate or not. Fine. So let's not play that game that, okay, fine, this is something, yeah, I can feel it, this is the answer. Just don't go about like that. It would be much more healthy if you go across and start working upon eliminating the others, right? Let's come across. So I'm keeping B because it makes sense. It was also mentioned out there. C part, the librarian disliked noise. The kind woman with silver hair, nothing written out there whether she disliked the noise or anything of that sort. Rather, she always met them with warm smile. So C part goes away. D says books were locked in shelves. Were they? It wasn't like, but it was filled with stories that sparked imagination. Children would flipping through books. Oh, they are flipping through books. If they are flipping through books, the books are in front of them, right? Not locked away, right? Always greeted everyone with her. She believed every book. So simple. Books were locked away in shelves is wrong. The answer is B. See how it becomes very easy for you. It becomes quite natural for you to do these kind of things, because when you do this, you know for sure that your answer is correct, right? You know for sure that this was not a fluke, and that is what I want from you people. Okay, let's move ahead. Which of the following is not mentioned in the passage? So again, as I said, it could have been which is mentioned and which is not mentioned, both type of questions, right? So look into it. Let's see what happens. Okay. So it says, uh, which of the following is not mentioned in the passage? The library was located in a town. It was in a town, small town, but it is a town. So this is actually mentioned out there. A part goes away. The librarian had silver hair. Uh, the librarian with silver hair. Clearly mentioned. B part goes away. People borrowed books every day. Did they? It is talking about children coming across, flipping through the books. Nope, not mentioned out here. C part can be my answer, right? Okay, D part. The librarian welcomed everyone. Did she? Yes, with a warm smile, right? She greeted everyone with a warm smile. D part goes away. The answer is C. So you can easily see that this kind of a thought process or this kind of question is a friend, right? You need to do this and you can easily do this, right? Okay. Fifth question, which of the following has been said by the author? Again, so they have just paraphrased, they have just changed the thought process, but it is talking about the same thing. Let's see what goes about. Um, Books were never returned on time. No, the author never said so. Every book held a word to explore. Every book held a world waiting to be explored. So, to be explored, right? Okay. D part. The town didn't value the library. No, of course not. Or else the children wouldn't be going out there, right? So, D part goes away. Author has been definitely saying this. So, you see, this is basically, oh, sorry, not the C part. The librarian read all the books herself. Oh, we forgot to read this one. C part says the librarian read all the books herself. Was it written out there? No. So C part goes away. The answer is B part, right? B part says that every book held a world to explore. So you see that this is how we grow, right? The same question could have been made more difficult, or it could have been made like it could have been paraphrased in a very different manner, and it would have become a bit tricky for you to find the answer. Fine. But now, what we are trying to do out here is, first of all, trying to build that bridge, right? When we'll make those steps, those tiny steps, we would grow and we would start doing more difficult questions for ourselves, right? Okay, so let's move ahead. What do we have? Okay, this time the paragraph has changed. Let's see what the paragraph is talking about. Technology has revolutionized the way we communicate. Okay. Gone are the days of handwritten letters and landline calls. We don't make landline calls. We don't write letters to anyone, right? WhatsApp is there and all that. Okay. Then today, instant messaging and video calls connect people across continents within seconds. However, this rapid shift has also impacted personal relationships. Now, just let's hold our horses, right? Just a sec. The question, what does it say? Because these are those questions where you can actually read the question and then go back to your passage as well. So we can save our time as well. How? Synonym of the word revolutionized as used in the passage. So they have the word revolutionized out here. They have the word revolutionized out here. It has been underlined. Do I have to read the whole stuff? No, of course not. I don't have to. I can just go through this. I can catch hold of the word out here itself and try to find my answer, right? So what does it say? Synonym of the word revolutionized as used in the passage. What is it? Technology has revolutionized the way we communicate. Gone are the days. So what can it be? Is it transformed? Is it complicated, preserved, or imitated? Of course, the answer is easy. When you know the meaning of the words, you can easily catch hold. So we know they are saying gone are the days of handwritten letters and landline calls, which means it has gone. It is not there anymore. Something else has come across, which means technology has changed the way of communication, right? Which means it has not preserved the way. So therefore, preserved cannot be my answer because it has changed. Moreover, does it say that it has complicated the whole system? No, it does not. So complicated cannot be my answer. Imitated, what does it mean? So all those students who do not know what is the meaning of imitation, so let's see what is imitated. Imitated is where they say copy. Copy something, right? Copycat. Okay. So did we say that it is imitating something? No, it is not. So D part, C part, and B part cannot be my answer. Transformed on the other hand, it simply says changing. And that's what it meant when we said technology has revolutionized the way we communicate, which means technology has changed the way we communicate, right? And therefore, the right answer is transformed. Easy as that. Let's move ahead. Question number 2. Antonym of instant as used in instant messaging. Okay. Now, what is instant? Yeah. Instant coffee, right? I need the answer instantly. So we say these kind of things, right? So how do I go about with this? What would it mean when I would say the word instant? So another word for instant can be something which is done quickly. Quick, right? But what is it that I need? I need antonym. See, again, very important part. Antonym, which means I need the answer opposite to the meaning of this word. So opposite of quick, can it be swift? No, it cannot be swift because swift means what? It also means quick. If I say continuous, which means again, it would be instant because it is happening again and again, repetitive, does not have any relation, goes away. Scheduled means at a certain point which has been actually thought about, right? We have fixed that time that, okay, at this point this is going to happen. So that's why scheduled is that way. So scheduled cannot be my answer. The only answer is delayed. What is delayed? What does it mean? It means slowed, right? Late, something like that. Let's move ahead. Which of the following is stated in the passage? Did I miss a question? No, I did not. Third question, it says, which of the following is stated in the passage? So, as per the passage, people still write letters to feel connected. Nothing out there was written across about connection, right? So, rather it was said, gone are the days of handwritten letters. Rather they use what? They use video calls and other apps to connect. So A part goes away. Digital communication can lead to emotional disconnect. Okay. This rapid shift has also impacted personal relationship, right? It talks about yeah. So what do we have out here? Is stated in the passage. So people still write letters to feel connected. This is not my answer. Next, digital communication can lead to emotional disconnect, which was, however, this rapid shift has also impacted personal relationship. Many people feel that digital communication lacks emotional depth and often leads to misunderstandings. Okay, so this part somewhat connects with this. Digital communication can lead to emotional disconnect. So I can keep it out here. Okay. Next, landline calls are faster than messaging. Definitely not working. It was not written out there. D part says everyone prefers emotional connection over speed. Despite this, most individuals still prefer convenience over connection. Okay. Convenience means what? Being quick, okay, do something easily or conveniently, right? And connection, so they are saying instead of connecting emotionally or something like that, I would be more happy to just just conveniently connect with people and start working, right? Communication, okay. So that's why this part prefers emotional connection over speed is not working. The only option is B part, which says digital communication can lead to emotional disconnect, which is coming across from this part that I said, right? Okay, next. Which of the following is not stated in the passage? So, which one is it? Messaging has replaced older communication methods. Has replaced older communication. So this part is definitely says instant messaging and video calls, right? And this has actually gone out those days. So this part simply tells me that A part cannot be my answer because it is already mentioned out there, right? People often misunderstand messages online. Okay. Lacks emotional depth and often leads to misunderstanding. So people often misunderstand messages online. That is also there. Okay, fine. C part, most people avoid digital communication. It says most individuals still prefer convenience over connection, which means C part is actually written out. No, avoid digital communication is not written out there because they actually do so. They do not avoid, they actually go for it, right? D part says emotional depth is missing in online interactions. That is already mentioned out there. So D part goes away. We have to find out something which is not stated in it. Okay. So these questions, no matter how easy they may look, but they can trick you, right? Sometimes we know the answer, still we take the other answer, right? So you need to be very sure about what you're doing. So out here, which one is working more? People often misunderstand messages online, which was clearly mentioned. So this part also goes away. Most people avoid digital communication is not mentioned out here. My answer is C part. Have you understood how we go about with this? With your proper, uh, understanding and the rule of elimination, there is no way that anyone can keep you from your dream college, right? So let's move ahead. Which has been said by the author. The internet is harmful for relationships. Uh, However, this rapid shift has also impacted personal relationships. I cannot remove this right now. B part, digital communication connects but also disconnects. Oh my God. Is it becoming a bit, yeah, you can see the trick now. Digital communication connects but also disconnects. So it says that, of course, this part says many people feel that digital communication lacks emotional depth and often leads to misunderstandings. So this part again cannot go. People now only communicate through emojis. Now that is very specific when we say that it is they are only communicating through emojis. So C part goes away. Handwritten letters will return soon. This was not something that author said, so D part goes away. So we are left with A and B. Fine. How would I go about and try to work it out? How would you say that this can be my right answer without any, without getting that, getting stuck in that trick? What can be the reason? See, when I say the internet is harmful for relationships, okay, so this was one part which came across. Then it says many people feel that digital communication lacks emotional depth and often leads to misunderstanding. So there was something, it talked about misunderstanding, right? And it lacks emotional depth, right? So having a word like this part, A part definitely is talking about something to do with it. But then again, in this case, what is happening is the internet is harmful for relationships is actually justifying, or it is judgmenting, right? It is judging the whole sentence out here, right? Rather, if I say digital communication connects but also disconnects, this is covering the whole thing, not only about relationship, but it is also talking about misunderstandings and every other thing that can be thought about to be a problem with digital communication, right? So therefore, out of A and B, I would not say the right answer, but I would say the better option out here would be which one? Yes, the answer will be digital communication connects but also disconnects. Good enough? Okay. Fine. So let's go to the next paragraph. Fine. So this is your next passage to go through. Urbanization, while a marker of economic development, often comes at the cost of environmental sustainability. What does it mean? Is this a positive sentence or a negative sentence? So as you see, as I promised, that slowly, gradually, what are we going to do? We are going to go a step beyond, right? This time, where we are going across, we are going towards a bit difficult, right? Something which is tougher or something like that, right? So that we can understand which one is what, okay? And of course, it would get tougher. Urbanization, while a marker of economic development, often comes at the cost of environmental sustainability, which means that even though there is economic development, but environmental sustainability is getting hurt, right? Cities expand rapidly, consuming forests, wetlands, and agricultural land. Concrete replaces green cover. Fine, easy, of course. And the air grows dense with pollutants. So what all is happening? He's calling cities, and he's calling the green cover concrete, right? And the pollutants. These are the major concerns which are eating away what the green expanse. Moreover, urban infrastructure frequently lags behind population growth. Fine. Urban infrastructure, which means the structures where we are, right? The houses, right? The residential areas frequently lags behind. So it is behind. Fine. Population growth. So in terms, the way the population grows, the infrastructures are not ready, leading to overcrowded transport, insufficient water supply, and mounting waste. Critics argue that unless cities adopt greener policies and planned expansion, urban growth could become a ticking ecological time bomb, right? Okay. But then again, my question is somewhere around here, mounting. Synonym of the word mounting. So can it be reducing? Can it be decreasing? Can it be escalating? Can it be breaking? So look at this part, A and B. If you look at A and B, A is talking about reducing and B is also talking about decreasing, which is somewhat, they are associative, right? So when they are synonymous and associative, I cannot take them, because if you say it is reducing, then I would say like, why not decreasing, right? So therefore, reducing and decreasing goes away. Moreover, when we are looking at the sentence itself, urban infrastructure frequently lags behind population and all that. What is happening? Overcrowded transport going above, insufficient water supply, a negative thought process, and mounting waste, which means the waste would be going down or would it be going up? Because the whole thing is actually talking about the problems. Waste going down, decreasing or reducing is actually a positive sense. So which means this can definitely not be my thought process. So reducing and decreasing goes away. Now we are left with escalating and breaking. What do I do? Which one would I take? So the waste, escalating, an escalator goes up, right? Majorly escalate. When we escalate an issue, when we escalate from somewhere, which means we are going upwards. Therefore, mounting waste, which means it is escalating, it is not going down, it is actually going up, right? Breaking waste does not make sense out here, so D part goes away. C is the only option. Easy? Okay, let's move ahead. Urbanization, while a marker of economic, again, this time they have underlined sustainability and they say like antonym of sustainability as used in environmental sustainability. Is it permanence? Is it durability? Is it instability or is it continuity? Okay. Permanence means what? Something which is permanent, which is always going to be there, right? What is sustainability? When I sustain something, which means like I'm continuing with that, right? Maybe permanently as well, okay? But at least I want to keep it for a long time. I want to keep it, right? So therefore, permanence is actually almost like a synonym to sustainability. But I need antonym, therefore permanence goes away. Similarly, when I say durability, it means it can endure and it can go beyond. Again, talking on the same ground goes away. Continuity, again, permanence or sustainability. As I said, sustainability is about continuing the same thing. So this part goes away. The only option is instability. Fine. So you can see that the passage became a bit difficult to understand, or maybe some heavier words were there. But then again, we can do questions. There is no problem with that. Next, which of the following has been mentioned in the passage? Urban sprawl improves agricultural output. Now, in this case, if I don't know what is sprawl, then it would become a bit problematic, right? So, just think of it. What can be sprawl? What can it be? Urban sprawl improves agricultural output. Sprawl is basically something which is spreading, okay, expands. Is urban expanse improving agricultural output? No, because agricultural land is being taken away, right? Consuming, it is consuming it, which means it is eating it away. Which means if it is eating it away, it does not improve it. So A part goes away. B part says, environmental damage is a side effect of urban growth. Environmental damage is a side effect of urban growth. Can we keep it this? Of course, that's what it says, that while a marker of economic development often comes at the cost of. So it is a side effect, right? So B part, we are not going to remove it. Forests and wetlands are protected during city expansion. Definitely not. It is saying that it is consuming it, which means it is going away. D part says population growth in cities has showed in recently, population growth in cities has slowed in recent years. Nothing has been mentioned out here. They asked like which has been mentioned. So D part goes away. What is the answer? We are left with B. That is the answer. Easy. So I believe this elimination thing is working for you and you can, you are able to get all those answers that you want. Next, which of the following is not mentioned in the passage? Rapid urbanization consumes green spaces. Was it mentioned? Consumes green spaces. Of course, it was mentioned. It was said that this is cities expand rapidly, consuming so and so. So this part goes away. Pollution increases as cities grow. Of course, it was mentioned. We don't even have to read that. Urban planning has kept up with population growth. Was it mentioned? No, it was not. They said urban planning has kept up with population growth. So what are they doing now? Now, look at it, important part. This is called as paraphrasing. They take up a line from here, they put it out there, but they use different words. They mean the same thing, but they use different words. And that is where the trick is. You cannot fall for this trap. You need to read, you need to understand, and then accordingly you have to answer. So coming back to it, what does it say? Urban planning has kept up. What is this urban planning? So this is basically talking about the urban infrastructure. But what does it say? It says urban infrastructure frequently lags behind population growth. which means it is actually not going well with the, they are not in balance, right? So it says urban planning has kept up with population growth. Kept up means it is balanced, but it is not. So therefore, C part can be my answer. D, let's see. Waste generation is a growing problem. Of course, it says waste generation, of course. What all were the problem? So there was mounting waste, then insufficient water supply, then overcrowded transport. They all are problems. So therefore, this is actually been mentioned out here. So D part cannot be my answer. The only answer is C. Easy. Okay, come across to the last question for the day, which has been said by the author. Urban growth is sustainable with no consequences. Definitely not said. B. Critics suggest cities need eco-conscious planning. Critics argue that unless cities adopt greener policies and planned expansion, urban growth could become a ticking ecological time bomb. Critics suggest cities need eco-conscious, ecological, right? Conscious planning. Definitely this can be my answer. Let's go to the C part. Villages should be turned into concrete settlements. That is not what has been said. They are trying to say that all the villages, they should be removed and instead it should be replaced with what? Concrete settlements, which means what? Big societies and buildings and all that stuff. Next, D part. Urban living has reduced the need for transportation. Urban living has not reduced, rather it has increased the use or the need for transportation, and which we do not even have. We lag behind in that. So which means D part is wrong. What is the right answer? B is the right answer. With all these thought process, you understand how we go about and read the RCs, right? This was our base class. We are going to grow and have more. So first of all, we are going to learn about different kind of questions that would come. Today, what we learned was about facts and vocabulary, right? The next time I do RC with you, it would be about something to do with inferences, titles, or something like that, and so on, right? So stay with me and let's meet again at iQuanta. Take care.